Morning everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. That smoke from the wood stove is clouding up the meadow here. It's just fading off. Look at that sky. It's going to be in the 50s, I think, maybe as high as 60. Not a perfect day, but the sun makes up for it. Well guys, I've got a machine on here I need to get off. It's one I got in the summer, and I'm going to use this for me, and I'm going to get rid of the other one that I had. I always keep the better one for me. Well, I'm always improving what I've got and keep the newer and better as I advance. So I'm going to fix this one up. It probably doesn't run, but I'll get it running and then sell my old one. And that's how I do it. So let me unload this thing. I have to take the tailgate off to work the ramp. I do this a lot, I'll tell you. This is exactly how I got it. I've never done a thing to it. This came separate. And I took it over to the land and left it there. There we go. Well, that's convenient that you can lift it up for storage so it takes less space. And that's a little bit bent. What? Is the drain plug missing? It's on here, okay. I haven't actually even looked at this. I don't know a thing about that yet. Let's have a look at the motor. So some time has passed. I don't need a jacket anymore. I had a phone call and I went to see about, what is this? Somebody put a breather on there. I went to see about the some stuff I found online that I want to get. So I'm checking to see how the compression, it's got compression, good pressure. This was garage kept until I got it home, and then it was outdoors a little while. Tank is rusty, so I'm going to definitely need a fuel filter. The gas line is wrecked, so I got to replace that. Oh, there's a valve, on-off valve on there. That's a convenient thing. It was open. I don't know what the condition of the carburetor is going to be. There's no air filter. That's not a good thing. This is a weird system here. There's oil. So I could try and see if it'll sputter. Oh, this got the old... Oh wow, it's got the old point system on the outside. I guess that's convenient. Let me go get some starter fluid and see if this thing will sputter or fire anything. I don't know, that's a big engine on that. Probably an 8 the way it looks like. Well, let's see what happens here. There's a separate throttle on this. What's that? Don't mess with that. There's your... Well, everything's... This is old. Your adjustments down here. There's a choke. I don't know. We'll see if it'll sputter. Actually, there's no telling, without looking it up on the serial numbers, this could only be a few horse. I have to look it up. It's old. Let's see if it fires. I'm not sure. It sure turned a while. I'm not sure if that was firing or not. It's a heavy engine. I think this is going to run. I believe that's firing. Gonna have to get some gas in there and see what happens. I don't know if this will work, if there's any flexibility left in this old line. I just want to see if we can get it to fire. Yeah, it goes on. It'll be interesting to see if this will run. Let me go get there's your kill switch. On top is just a wire. Let me go get some gas and see what happens. Just a little bit. See what happens. I don't know if the tank leaks. I don't know if the carburetor leaks. Turn on the gas valve. It's not leaking there. I don't know if there's enough gas to get through, but I'm definitely going to have to put an air filter on that before I really run it. Let's see if it'll fire. I don't know if it's enough gas. We'll find out in a minute. It's sputtering. Pretty sure it's sputtering. Heavy, it's got compression. A lot of compression. Sounds like it's sputtering. I don't think I got enough gas. tank was bone dry. Don't see any dripping. It certainly acts like it's sputtering. I'm not sure. Give that full throttle and see what I can do here. It's some serious compression. Whew. Well, I'm gonna work at that a minute. That, it sounds like it's sputtering, but boy, that's a job pulling that. I choked it all the way, but it's got a bad float, I think. It's definitely firing. But it's got a real bad float. This whole beast, it's a smoker, but it runs. And I think I need a carburetor cleanup. And down here is definitely leaking. It is dripping here. I'm gonna fire it again and run the gas out, and then I'll that way the carb's empty. I'll burn it out and then clean that up later. That is loud. I'm definitely gonna need hearing protection when running this. That is loud. I need to look up the specs on that old beast. Model 9E 9FB 9FB old Briggs and Stratton. I'm gonna look that up later, see what I have. Curious to know. It sounds big. It looks like an 8, but back then the old engines, they were made bigger, even a smaller horse. It's an oldie because it's got the points on the side. That's an oldie, but it's leaking here on the carburetor. I'm gonna have to see if I can get a seal for that. And I don't run things without the air filter. It smokes probably because it was ran without a filter for all those years. Old timers, a lot of them don't like air filters. I don't know why. But yeah. And then I'll change the oil. It's definitely worth changing the oil. I noticed something else interesting. It has a separate sump. The sump is separate from the base of the engine. You don't see that these days either. Not like this on a horizontal shaft engine. Well, that's it for now. I gotta work on my mill. I just wanted to see if this would sputter or fire, and I'm pleased so far. It's a low priority on my list, but it's a big machine. Definitely gonna be a good machine for me. It was a 5-horse originally. The original engine is gone. I could pop a 5 on there easily and run it. So I'll put my truck back together and get over to the mill. Well, I got 2 perfectly cut boards. They're beautiful wood too. And then I was cutting my last cuts, and when I stood them up, I was going to cut a 2x4 out of these. When I stood them up, I noticed something horribly wrong. Can you see that? I think that shows right up on camera, doesn't it? You see how bad that's cut? Horrible. And over here, it's even more pronounced. That is wrecked right there. That's no good. That's no good. I might be able to plane it and use it for something else, but that's no longer a 2x4. So I found out, I don't know how, but on my screws, I'm higher on this end than I am on this end. I don't know how that happened. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to go about adjusting that. So I'm going to have to dismantle my mill. That's sad because I finally got it fixed. And now the screws are off. Bad off. So that's the end of work for today. I sawed out 1 log and I was going to get, well, if it hadn't been messed up, I should have got 2 2x4s and, well, it's a 2x6, whatever was left over, but it sure didn't cut right at all. The bottom one started out 2 inches on the one side, but it's thicker on the other, so I can plane that out and still get a 2x4 out of this. But I'm going to have to resaw this on the table saw in order to get my 4 inches, because I sure don't want to run it on the mill like this now and ruin it. This one is, I don't know what I can do with that. Make it a 1-incher or something. Figure out what I can salvage out of that, that was a beautiful log. But down here, it's wrecked. You can see that with the bare eyes. I don't know what happened. That's strange. So it must have been on the last cut before I did this. Something messed up in here. So that's it for today. Those 2 boards turned out perfect. I was sawing them off to get my 4-inch thick on my for 2 2x4s. Well, it was a 4 1/4. It came out 4 1/4 is what I had here on the thickness, and would have been perfect, but when I sawed it out, it slaughtered that. Terrible. I don't know what happened, really. That's confusing. But yeah, I pulled those off to get the 4 1/4 thickness, and the bar and chain thickness would have been 1/4. Would have given me 2 2x4s out of there. Actually, I would have had 2 2x6s, and then I was going to cut off the 4 inches out of it, and then have the other piece for some framing work or something. Who knows? Whatever. But well, I got 2 beautiful boards for the wood shop. I'll sticker them and leave them and use them in the winter for something. Well, that's it for today on this. I don't know how. I don't know what I got to do on here, but I'm gonna have to take all the screws off and figure this out.